First pasuk of the parsha Vayikru Beretz Mitzrayim Shvayis Shana Vayikru Yemei Yisrael Lamas. The second pasuk says Vayikru Yemei Yisrael, the days of Yisrael. Where the pasuk starts off with Yaakov and finishes off with Yisrael. What's the reason for that? What's the difference for the name change? So Chazal explain in Tainus. The Gemara says Yaakov Avinu Lo Meis. So Pshat is that why isn't Yaakov Avinu Meis? Because he left after him Yosef, who was able to. He was a Talmud. He was the closest Talmud of Yaakov, and he was able to continue what Yaakov has taught him and what he instilled in him. And he was, and therefore Yaakov Avinu Lo Meis. Why? Because Yaakov's actions remained in the world with Yosef and with Klal. So the Ksav Sefer answers. He says the difference between why it says Yaakov and Yosef in Israel, because it says Vayichi Yaakov. Life is by Yaakov because Yaakov Avinu Lo Meis. However, Yisrael was a higher level. That there wasn't. Nobody was there available there was nobody who was able to take the Yisrael and continue that on. And that's why Vayikru Yemei Yisrael Lamos. Yisrael was able to be nifter. However, Yaakov. I heard. I was listening to the Shloshim of Ovadia and Rabbi Shalom Cohen. He's the Rosh in the Old City. He said he's like it says by Yaakov Avinu Lo Meis, but physically he was nifter. Pshat is that he left something after him. He said the same thing. Ravadi right now is nifter. He said but we have one thing. We have his torah. We have his opinions. We have his mahalach. If we continue it, then he won't be mace. But if we won't continue it, then he will taka be mace, and he will. So he's like, therefore we have to continue his. That was it. There's a little bit of a different understanding, which I would like to maybe say. When a person is nifter, he no longer can do any more mitzvahs. There's no way for him to proceed anywhere in Shemayim. What are you going to do? You're there. What you did is what's done is done. What's not done, you're not going to be. It's too late. Person's nifter. However, a person leaves a child or a talmid or a good Indian that he left in this world. He left a certain midah that he taught to other people that people can learn from. When people say it and they think about this person, l'zeicha nishmas, during a person's Yarzeit, we say l'zeicha nishmas, we do a mala. At that point, the person is considered lo meis. Why? Because a person in Shemayim could go higher and higher in Shemayim into a higher level, because of what's done still because of him in this world. And the Peleh Yoetz it talks about it very, very much when in regards to things that have to do with Chinuch. This is nothing to do with Chinuch. It's in general. A person who would leave a midah taiva in this world will be able to. Will have such a thing following him. But he says especially by children. He says a person, by the love for Ava Sabane Vabanas, he says over there, a person's children will be Tamid Chacham, Yismach Yesh B'Yoetz Chalatzav B'Olam Hazeh, U'Ba'Olam Haba, and in Olam Haba. Ufachas Yimser Nashel Ishtadel B'Chol Navshay B'Chol Me'oidel Leval Yu Banav Amei Haaretz. If you can't get your children to be Tamid Chachamim, at least don't let them become Amei Haaretz. You want them to be. He says you should be maybe a chazin, maybe a sofer, something a klei kodesh, something that has to do with Torah. And if you get at least that, then at least he's going to be a ben Torah enough that he's going to know that when it comes time to a person's Yarzeit, or if it's to donate or something or whatever it is, to do something for a person, you'll be able to continue saying Kadishim and things like that. Stam and Kibud of Aim, the Peleh Yoetz talks about that there's more Kibud of Aim when a parent is nifter, when a child does things legally nishmasam, because at that point they can't do anything. And it's not that they know about it, it's like a chesed shel emes in a way, plus Kibud of Aim. It's like a combined mitzvah, it's like a combined greatness. It's much more chasha. A person, he says, he's like, Yarzeits are not enough. You have to, when a person, La'alenu, everybody right now, Baruch Hashem, but the Maisa, he says that's a kibbutz of aim.
You're doing something for them that they can't do
for themselves. Exactly. He also says by Torah. He goes on about it by Torah, and he says also over here how a person has to be careful with his children. I just want to read the lashon.
It's like a fascinating thing. You're saying you should train your children that they should honor you on your Yarzeit. That's basically
yeah, but it's not really. It's much more than that, because like we spoke.
To keep you alive.
Right, it's to keep you alive. But it's also like last week we spoke about the fact that a person is training his children, making them a Talmid Chacham, because when a person gets good Chinuch, then he's going to get Simcha, which is the highest part of the word Simcha is mentioned by Chinuch, which is the highest part of Chinuch, the highest part of Simcha. Only Simcha is mentioned by Torah, Simcha is mentioned by mitzvahs, which is the highest part. Even a bris is we said that Tov Melech says Sasa Nechem Mesecha. But however, there's two parts. There's Chinuch for us, for what the tetzah, the children, for himself, for their own good, for our good, that we're going to get Simcha in this world. But there's also the tetzah, the outcome that comes out when, and a person should think like that. We have to think about life, about ourselves. When we do ma'asim, we have to think about what's going to be L'olam haba. And it also implies when we with the action of our children. And he says like this: V'mish ani, if he's a poor person and yachal lazon his banov, and he can't financially sustain them to stay in learning or something like that. Yisbol me'ati mahim, suffer a little bit with them. V'yilamed oisem torah atchi yigdu v'torah tamud lahem lezuno l'farnesam parnasa torah beheter b'nachas b'revach b'chavod. He goes on, and he says, "Akopanim yuchlu liyos chazanim umlamde tinoikes v'yu matzdike arabim kechavim v'yu oiskim lecha shemayim." Let them be a shtickle tired man, a good yid that they should be. And he says this lashon. Can't find it right now. Anyways, he says the lashon that they will be there for you after your niftar. That's really chap. So there's two parts to chinuch. We said last week that there is chinuch, that a person is simcha, and it gives an unbelievable happiness to that person when he sees that his children are good, and it's obviously good for themselves. But there's also part of chinuch that which is really for us, for ourselves, for our own benefits. Also for when we are after we're niftar, which will give us a darga of Yaakov Avinu Lemes. How do we know that we can say Yaakov Avinu Lemes? It says also for when we are after we're niftar, which will give us a darga of Yaakov Avinu Lemes. How do we know that we can say Yaakov Avinu Lemes? It says Ma'aseh Avos similar banim. Everything that the Torah talks about the Avos is a similar banim. When the Torah says Yaakov Avinu Lemes, then it's also similar for us. How is it a similar for us? If we leave over a son that can do, if we are good people, we leave over a son that does us, or a talmid, or a sefer, or something, person leaves him, maybe we can trace him, stuff like that. That's something that we can all benefit from, and that's how we can reach a Yaakov Avinu Lemes.
It makes sense because it doesn't say Avram was Lomes, and it doesn't say Yitzchak was Lomes, because their children each did it.